Pidcock will have had all of the information fed back to him. He knows what his body's capable of, and he's no stranger to winning big prizes in different disciplines in cycling. But today, another box could well be ticked off. It's a huge half an hour of bike riding for Tom Pidcock, Adam.
Very big indeed. I mean, for Tom, what can you say about him? He's won so many bike races, so talented at most things, but there's one thing he's not won yet, and that's a professional stage race. And this is a solid stage race to win, start of the season. There we have the intermediates.
Finally.
Filippo Ganna, 2 seconds behind Stefan Kung. The second intermediate, I'm not sure if Kung's been through yet. He has, 3 seconds slower than Cavagna once again, so 2 seconds is not much really at the minute. I don't think we can take too much from that, apart from Ganna is right on the money.
He's in the game. And of course Ganna's also involved in general classification action too. He sits 9th at 31 seconds. Over the course of 24.4 kilometres, 31 seconds is something that Ganna could conceivably eat up quite easily. Now with Almeida now. And now back to the finish, because this is King Kung. Half a kilometre to ride. He should ride into the lead here. Cavagna, though, has put in a really good time. Now then, has Kung held on well enough? I think he's probably just going to edge into the lead. He's got to get across the line quickly if he's to do that. The time ticks by. Kung coming to that finish line. Kung sets the fastest time. He puts just under 4 seconds into Remy Cavagna, who's bumped down into second place. Kung in the lead. But by how much, and how will that stand or not? Because Ganna has been close to him. 2 seconds behind Kung at the first time check. Kung, a former winner of this time trial 3 years ago now. How will he go today? Kung, by the way, one of those riders who's not involved in the GC really. I think today's ride will certainly take him up into the top 10. But he started the day 1 minute and 5 behind Pidcock, didn't he? And over half a minute behind this guy. Only 2 seconds separated at the first check. So Kung maybe in there for the stage win. Probably not up there for the GC today.
Yeah, and this man here as well, we have to remember that he is an outstanding time trialist on his day when he's going good, but he is beatable. He's like with the Van der Poel and Wout van Aerts and the Pogacars as well. We always look at them as the best of the best, and they are the best of the best, but they are beatable. We've seen them beaten many a times before, and he could be beaten again today. This is probably for Ganna the longest time trial he's done so far this year, since the hour record probably. He'll have done similar efforts, but has been track focused.
That was the second time check. We didn't get the time stop for us, but on first glance, he wasn't as quick as Cavagna. He went through at 19:27. And keep your eyes on it though. Hopefully that time should flash up for us in a moment. This is L'Enfant Wilder. He's just over that section where they climb. With Ganna, 20 minutes into his effort.
Bauke Mollema at the second checkpoint, 30 seconds behind Cavagna.
Mollema starting the day in 11th place. That will suggest to us that he isn't going to pull off some miracle and win the GC today.
I don't think so, no. And just another update, I'm sure you've seen it as well, Rob, is that Filippo Ganna is 10 seconds behind Cavagna at that second checkpoint, so not quite there. He's lost another 8. He's lost 8 seconds since that first time check.
Foss through in 5th place as well there, for the 12 seconds behind Ganna.
Jeez. It's like MotoGP then.
It's an interesting time trial, isn't it? As Pidcock gets to the climby section. He's the last rider to pass through here. Lots of lefts and rights. The odd deceptive bit of climbing in here. Pidcock showed us yesterday he can do that rather well, winning the stage on the mountain. It's interesting actually, because all of his 3 pro wins on the road have come on quite steep hills to the finish.
Yeah. He's He's a punchy rider, isn't he? He won Tour de l'Avenir as well, let's not forget, when he was an amateur. So he can perform on the long climbs. It's just we're used to seeing Tom in the 1 hour cyclocross race, the mountain bike in the classics as well. Remember when he was second at Amstel there. So we're used to seeing him as that punchy attacking rider, and I so often forget what he's capable of on long climbs.
Joao Almeida approaching the first time check here. Stefan Kung's top time of 10:46 still stands there. Ganna 10 seconds behind Cavagna at the second time check. That will put him 7 seconds behind the current leader in the clubhouse, Stefan Kung. Kung, who took 4 on Cavagna. So they alternated the lead, didn't they, for quite a while? As you see Rui Costa come through the first time check in 14th place. That's at 27 seconds. Jai Hindley 46 seconds behind Stefan Kung. And Sergio Higuita a good almost 50 seconds back. So not great starts there in their defence of the GC positions for those guys. Interesting to see then what the likes of Almeida, Van Wilder and Pidcock can do at those first time checks, because otherwise, if they don't get up there with the likes of Filippo Ganna and company, we might be starting to look at Filippo Ganna as the man looking for the GC today.
Yes, I'd say so as well. And Ganna is definitely one of the riders that likes to, let's say, squeeze a little bit in the final part of the time trial. He can empty himself quite well. So I'm sure he'll bring a little bit of time back. And for the overall, we're going to see what happens, aren't we? I mean, it's quite the obvious one, but he could be right up there, if not it.
24 seconds to get onto the podium. 26 seconds to get into second place. That's how bad my maths are. 31 seconds on Pidcock if he's to take the lead and eventual title off of his teammate.
Pidcock looks to be gaining quite a bit of time on Van Wilder as well. Van Wilder looks to be losing quite a bit on Almeida, so not having the best time trial by the looks of things. And that's before the first checkpoint.
This is how it stands in terms of the checkpoints. It's Kung, Ganna, Cavagna. Cavagna, Kung, Ganna at the second. Ganna, we wait to arrive at the third. Joao Almeida not really pulling up any trees either, just a single second quicker than Rui Costa, and in 14th place. So Almeida, as it stands, could be in danger of losing the podium here.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. I'm so intrigued to see what Tom can do here. He's obviously, as we spoke about, we never quite know what we're going to get from him, apart from solid, basically. On the days that he's going for it, it's generally great rides, so if he can put in another one of those performances, which he's more than capable of, it'll be great to see.
Because we haven't seen too much of him in a lot of these races. Remember, it's only his second season really riding at this level. And aside from the likes of Wout van Aert and Mathieu van der Poel, who follow those similar trajectories, excelling first in cyclocross and other disciplines, and then coming to the road, there haven't been too many riders we've talked up as winning big things enough before they've come to the road like this. So interesting to see how it goes, as Oscar Onley's ridden fairly well here. Certainly for a first professional time trial at this level as a fully fledged pro. Of course, he's ridden in the development team and been thrown into the odd race in the last couple of years. But well played, Oscar Onley. He's going to finish provisionally here in 10th place. He might end up in the top 20-25 today. Great ride.
Yeah, that is a solid ride from Onley there. Good to see another Brit at the pointy end of things as well.
Just 20 years of age, the Scot. This is Mollema in the meantime. That's champion. Solid without being spectacular. And that's Nicola Conci, who started 2 minutes in front of him, who's going to come in behind. So Mollema there, provisionally fourth. Conci, probably a time to forget for him. And where is Filippo Ganna? If he's to win the stage, he's got to get over the line in less than 3 minutes.
Van Wilder has gone quickly, 11.10 through that first split, so 14 seconds up on Almeida.
Good news for Van Wilder then. Looking like he could be trying to defend that podium place. 8th place provisionally at that time check, ever so slightly slower than Bauke Mollema. Danny Martinez looking good. 5th place provisionally at the first check. He could be one who's on his way to the podium. Started, by the way, just 16 seconds off it.
4 seconds. 4th at the second time split.
You're with Ilan van Wilder, who's gone through that first time check in a very solid 8th place. Now the world time trial champion Tobias Foss has not really been living up to the rainbow stripes so far. He's been up there, but he's not been setting the fastest times. How's he gone in that third and final section? He's close, but not close enough. He's not going to be in the top 2. He could end up in the top 5 at the end of the day with a ride here. But Foss has been solid without being spectacular. Started the day at 32 seconds in 10th place. He probably should rise in the general classification today, but he will not win the stage nor the race. It's a 30.03.22, and Foss is 3rd provisionally. Stefan Kung's still the leader, and Stefan Kung will be eagerly watching this man, because Kung could be on his way to a stage win here if Filippo Ganna can't get over the line in the next, minute and 10 seconds or so.
Just looking for the kilometre sign or a sign to show where he is upon that road, but this is the final straight. He is motoring, but is that the last kilometre or is it 500 metres go? We'll soon find out. If that's the last kilometre, then I think Kung is comfortably. Yeah,
it is the final kilometre. Stefan Kung with 29.34, his top time. And Filippo Ganna up to 29 minutes now. Now, keep your eyes on this. This is going to be tense and tight. I don't think Ganna is going to get there in time, if this time is correct. And if so, he won't be looking at a first-time trial stage win of the season. He might be looking up in the GC, because that's a different matter. We'll be taking 2 looks at things here today. First, it's going to be stage win, and that's not going to Filippo Ganna, I can tell you. 300 metres to the line, and the time is ticking by. Gets to 200 metres. The seconds tick away. Stefan Kung remains the fastest. Cavagna beaten. Foss, the world time trial champion, beaten. Ganna beaten. But now, has Filippo Ganna done enough to be with the big boys in the GC? That's the question. 29.44.54. It's no stage win for Filippo Ganna, but he could be on his way to the podium in the overall general classification. Adam, your reaction?
We mentioned it, didn't we, saying that he's not, done a few time trials this year. This is the first real long time trial that he has to do, and I think it's not a bad result for him, but I think we all expected, and he probably expected to go a little bit quicker than that, but you've got to take your hat off to Kung and Cavagna there. I mean, putting in solid performances, especially Kung as well. He's always kicking around that top 3 in time trials, and just to, it looks like he probably will get the stage win today. That might change, obviously. A few riders can beat him, but solid performance by him.
Tom Pidcock, by the way, through that first time check in 11th place, 30 seconds down on Kung, 28 seconds down on Filippo Ganna. So Ganna could yet be heading to the podium if things work out for him. That will be the GC podium. Oh, it's complicated today, a lot of sums to be done. I don't think you and I are probably the best choice for calling things to the line today.
Honestly, get me a calculator, please. I need Dan Lloyd in here to do my maths for me.
Here's Van Wilder.
I'm thinking.
"17.5 minutes into things." Started the day in 2nd place. And Pidcock in the yellow jersey. Now then, what's happened here?
He's gone too hot round that roundabout. He's coming in hot. He's coming in hot.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Tom Pidcock going cyclocross on the time trial bike and still keeping it upright.
Brilliant. Take my hat off to him. That was mint. That's the best thing I've seen. He jumped, bunny hopped onto the rocks to save himself. So he took off, flew onto the rocks, rode the rocks, and still managed to keep it up. Brilliant.
I'd be interested to know whether that happened before the time check or after it, because of course it could go a long way to explaining what happened before the time check. If it's happened after, it's not particularly good news for the GC Challenge, is it? Because more seconds have gone away, despite the skills on the show. Adam, we'll come back to that, because this is one of the stars of the week. Magnus Cort riding away. It's going to be a 30-37 for now, is it? 30-41. Magnus Cort has put in a good ride, but he's not going to take the GC today because Filippo Ganna's finished well ahead of him. Cort only had around 10 seconds on Ganna. Back with João Almeida. But Adam, let's go back to what we just saw from Tom Pidcock.
Honestly, I could watch that on repeat for days. That was, I mean, there's not many riders in the world that would have been able to keep that up. Maybe two, maybe three, maybe him, Van der Poel and Sagan are the only three I can probably think of. He literally slid onto the gravel and then bunny hopped himself onto the rocks to save himself, managed to get back off it, all on a time trial bike.
Now keep your eyes on this time, because this could be key. You could be looking at a man who could challenge for the overall general classification. Dani Martinez had 8 seconds on his teammate Filippo Ganna. What's going to happen here? Because Martinez might be about to ride into the provisional GC lead in the clubhouse. Ganna, remember, with that 29.44. Martinez with a 29.50. Martinez, for me, is above Ganna in the general classification. Super ride from the former Colombian champion. He could be the man who could be threatening people, but there's still the likes of Van Wilder to ride in, who's been riding well. João Almeida disappointing a little bit in the time check so far. Tom Pidcock, we saw disappointing in the first time check relatively, but what's happened since then? Dani Martinez might be the name.
We could be looking at an Ineos 1-2-3 here, depending on how Pidcock goes in the general.
Keep your eyes on it. Martinez, by my calculations, admittedly not brilliant ones, could be a couple of seconds ahead of Filippo Ganna. This is João Almeida. Out of the time score. I think we probably expected him to be. He is a really solid time trialist. But again, early in the season this. Oh. What was the shout there? Pointed to his front wheel?
Front wheel puncture maybe, or he might be telling the team car with the radio just to calm down, or he might be signalling, the team car might be saying, can you hear me, and he might be saying yes, no, with a thumbs up, thumbs down. There's so many things that it could be, but probably just wants to settle in and concentrate as much as he can.
Something's not right. He's looking down again. Oh yeah. No, something's not right. Puncture maybe. He was pointing at that front wheel. We know that Tom Pidcock has gone off-road. He went up the banking like he was on the track a moment ago, and then with the cyclocross and mountain bike styles, he managed to start it out and stay upright.
Best thing I've seen all year, that. Absolutely mint. Van Wilder, by the way, 7th through the second time check, 20.04, so just over 30 seconds behind.
That's interesting to see how he goes on the third part of this course, because at the start of the day, if we're looking at Martinez and we take him as the top time to watch now, at the start of the day there were 18 seconds. Now
Pidcock's just approaching the split and he's down on Van Wilder.
A long way down. He's over a minute down on Cavagna as well, so I think that Tom Pidcock's general classification hopes in terms of winning this thing are going to end here, Adam.
Yeah, Yeah, I'd say so at the minute. If Tom can pick it up a lot, but even that is a long way to pick up, even for a man like Tom Pidcock. So, yeah, sadly for Tom, he's given it his everything, but the TT specialists and even this man here, Jan van Wilder, is putting in a brilliant show.
Yeah, that was around, if you say, a minute behind Cavagna. Ganna was only 10 seconds behind him, so that's 50 seconds to Ganna he'd be looking at. Start of the day, 31 seconds separate him, so there's 20 seconds missing there. And to Martinez, 23 seconds at the start of the day. He'd be fairly well down on Martinez as well. Maybe can, as you say, pick it up in that final part. Keep your eyes on what Tom Pidcock can produce. At the minute, stage is on its way to Stefan Kung. General classification could well be going to Danny Martinez. But Ilan van Wilder's there to fight for it. He's looking good. 22 seconds at that second time check, though, between Martinez and van Wilder. So, time to make up. A lot of time to make up still for the Belgian, looking for that first professional victory. Rui Costa on his way back into the final few hundred metres. Winner of the general classification in Valencia. Up there all week this year in his native land in Portugal at the Tour of the Algarve. He's not going to win GC here, but he's going to put in another performance that's worthy of having him right up there in the top 10. A little slower than Askren on the day, maybe. He's there or thereabouts, in fact a second faster. But he'll be in the top 10 in the overall. Another good result, a really good result from a man who's right back. So with Costa over the line, only 4 left to finish. We wait for Higuita, Almeida, Van Wilder and Pidcock. This is Almeida.
Still can't get over the Pidcock thing. I've just watched it again. It's unbelievable.
That's going to be a viral clip, isn't it?
Oof, yeah, sorry, right. I need to take my eyes off it. Joe Almeida's looking good as well.
Oh, the time good enough? That's the question. 3 kilometres to go from here. Danny Martinez with that big time in the finale. Danny Martinez 4th overall. That's some time trial from him, isn't it?
Super time trial. I mean, to be 5 seconds down, 6 seconds down on Filippo Ganna, who we know how good he is, in his team as well, is exceptional.
So he's already won the Dauphiné, hasn't he? He's already won the Tour of the Basque Country. It could be about to add another big stage race to his palmarès. Van Wilder at the start of the day was a good 18 seconds quicker than him, so there's still good opportunity for Van Wilder here. But Martinez was enough in front at the time check so far to suggest he might hold on. Let's see. This will be Sergio Higuita, 4th last to finish. He's been out there, he's fought as usual, but we know that time trialling's not his forte.
A solid time though, over a half an hour time trial for him. I think, if he can slot into that top 20, I'm sure he'd be quite happy with that.
From what we've seen, I think we can probably say that we know the stage winner now, Adam, as well. It's going to be Stefan Kung.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Here's Sergio Higuita then. And finishes just outside the top 20 on the day. 31.19.26. Interesting to see where that puts him in the GC. Imagine he'll be still hanging around the top 10-15 by the end of the day. But where is Joao Almeida going to be? He's approaching the final kilometre here. He's certainly not going to win the stage. That's going to Stefan Kung. how is he going to be relative to Dani Martinez? 16 seconds between them at the start of the day. And I have a feeling here, João Almeida, 30 minutes passing, he's not going to catch Dani Martinez by the finish line either, so that's another one we can rule out. It seems as though the main threat to Martinez here is the man behind Almeida, who's Ilan van Wilder. João Almeida, the Portuguese road champion, a former national time trial champion, hasn't really put on his Sunday time trial best in the Algarve today. It's been solid enough, but not good enough to either win the stage with Stefan Kung setting the fastest time or take the general classification on his home roads. Almeida approaching the finish line. They bang the boards, they clap away, and it's going to be provisionally 12th place, 30.46.56.
It looked to be then as well, Rob, that we thought he might have had a problem there, but it looked to be you've got the electric levers on the end of your handlebars, and he had to change gear by the looks of things on his where the brake lever was there. So maybe a problem with the electrical gears and just maybe having to take his hand off to move the gear down into a harder gear. So that might have been what we thought was the problem earlier. But obviously with that you can deal with it, and it's quicker than stopping and starting again.
And it's funny, that would tally with the second image that we saw when he was gesticulating. The first one, he was sort of pointing the front of his bike. The second, we saw him looking down at the drivetrain. Now then, 1 kilometre to go for Ilan van Wilder. The time is ticking away. Started 16 seconds in front of Dani Martinez on the day. 7 seconds behind Tom Pidcock. Dani Martinez across the line in 29.50. This is going to be close. And van Wilder is really fighting to try and take this, which would be his first professional win. So 29.50, it's up. Remember, 16 seconds between them. Time starts to tick away though. And I have a feeling that with 300 metres to go to the line, he will sprint, he will go, but the overall general classification victory looks like it's going to Dani Martinez of Ineos Grenadiers. Van Wilder is right up there. He's put in a really good effort in the time trial today. He should be up there on the podium at the end of the day. Van Wilder provisionally with 7th place, 30.23.22, and with only Tom Pidcock to finish, well down on Stefan Kung. We can confirm that Stefan Kung is a stage winner, and we think that the Ineos Grenadiers will keep the general classification, but that it will go to Dani Martinez. Super ride from Ilan van Wilder.
Very good. And very good.
Here's Pidcock with 2k still to go, ticket of 29 minutes. It's not going to happen for him for the GC today.
No, it's not going to happen. We saw that amazing bit of bike handling there from him, but he's just not had the best of days on the bike there, Tom, on the time trial bike. But nevertheless, stage win, day in the yellow jersey, not come away with the overall, but their team has been up there. There's one of our Eurosport GCN crew on site ready to go with that red microphone there.
I cannot wait to get Tom Pidcock's reaction to all that happened there, certainly with the way he kept it upright. Remind you that he was fairly well down in the first part anyway before that happened, wasn't he? So things haven't gone maybe as well as he wanted in the time trial. And there we go. The time is ticking away on the yellow jersey. 1 kilometre still to ride, 15 seconds to get over the line. Won't happen for Tom Pidcock. He'll be trying to save a high position as possible in the general classification. But it's going to be Stefan Kung who'll take the stage. Dani Martinez, we think. You know, I haven't seen it in graphical form by our back of the cigarette packet and spare waste paper sums. We think that it's Dani Martinez who takes it. Tom Pidcock, he's ridden really hard, he's ridden really well. but it's not to be today. Yellow jersey on his back. Big victory yesterday. He'll become an internet star with that clip of it keeping up on the bike. But he is not going to become the winner today of the Volta Algarve. Provisionally in 19th place, Thomas Pidcock riding in the yellow jersey. Oh dear. I cannot believe they've opened that road again.
Yeah, a little bit early, that.
Well, back to the racing for a moment. Thomas Pidcock. A big experience for him today, but it has not happened as far as the general classification is concerned. He'll be happy that the team have got it though. It's Dani Martinez from Colombia who picks up a third big stage race in his career. From the Dauphiné to the Basque Country and now in the Algarve, Dani Martinez is the overall general classification winner after a superb time trial over almost 25 kilometres in southern Portugal. Stefan Kung, the stage winner, 3 seconds in front of Remy Cavagna, 9 seconds ahead of Filippo Ganna. Dani Martinez, 15 seconds back to win the overall, with Tobias Foster at 28 seconds, Arendsman, Van Wilder, Mollema, Pollitt and Hergots all rounding out the top 10. One minute and 2 between the top 10 on the day. Stefan Kung, 4 years after he last won this time trial, is victorious again in Lagoa, and this is how his ride went. Great to see him right back at the top, Adam.
Brilliant to see him right at the top again, and he fully deserves it as well.
Well, he flew out the start house, he flew around the course. It was a big battle between some of the biggest time trial names that are there in the sport at the minute. We've got the world champion Foss, Ganna out there as well, but Kung will take positives. Of course, Bissika was out earlier in the day and was well down. I think there might be a bit of rain affecting that. We'll wait to get some reaction afterwards. But Stefan Kung has won the first big battle of the big beasts of the season.
He will take a lot of confidence from that as well. After a hard week of racing, it's been a solid week here, and for Stefan Kung to come away on top, up against some of the time trialists in here, Ganna, Cavagna, Voss, there's many more. Bissika, he didn't have the best of days today, but brilliant for him.
Well, there's the realisation for Steve Cummings, sports director, that they've taken the big victory today.
Steve will be cracking jokes left, right and centre now.
He will be delighted with that. Lots of fun and laughter there, and interesting to see how it shakes up in the final GC. We wait for the graphic to come in, but I think there's going to be a few Ineos Grenadiers up there in the top 10. Very illustration of the tactic, strength in numbers, paying off. Celebrations all round. Bogarts on the bus there as well. They will be very happy. Time to get confirmation. It is 2 seconds. Thankfully, we got something right today, Adam. The maths. And that's what mattered. Dani Martinez winning the general classification ahead of Filippo Ganna. 15 seconds in front of Ilan van Wilder, who takes a brilliant podium. Tobias Foss's ride is enough to see him finish fourth. Kung in fifth, Almeida down in sixth. It's Pidcock, Mollema, Court and Costa with another